Good morning. It's Saturday, the 2nd of August. I'm Fazia Ibrahim.
I'm Thomas Ariti. You're watching Weekend Breakfast. Good morning.
Now, the Prime Minister will travel to the GARMA festival in Arnhem Land today to announce a raft of economic measures aimed at improving the lives of Indigenous people.
It comes amid sustained criticism that the government had gone silent on Indigenous affairs. Dan Borsch is at the GARMA festival and joins us now. Dan, good morning to you. What's the Prime Minister expected to say today?
Good morning. Good to be with you from this very special country where so many are gathering this weekend for the annual GARMA Festival, turning 25 this year. One of those will be Prime Minister Anthony Albanese making another visit to this place to give a keynote speech and really outlining what some have described to me as a bit of a reset and a reframing of the way that the government talks and interacts with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. The Prime Minister will be speaking about the importance of economic advancement, really outlining his view of a compact between the government and Indigenous people in Australia. And we understand that the Prime Minister will be announcing a raft of policies of around $100 million, primarily with a focus on native title. And of course, this all comes as there has been ongoing criticism of the government that there has been a stepping out of the space of Indigenous affairs, not only since the election, of course, only a few months ago, but since the failed Voice to Parliament referendum in 2023, amid many calls for greater action to embed Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander perspectives into the policy-making frameworks of the federal government, as well as that of states and territories. Now, in addition to that, we know that on the other side of politics, the opposition leader, Susan Lee, is not coming here. She's touring remote communities in Western Australia and is saying that the Prime Minister really needs to outline his plan. It must be noted, of course, that there hasn't been such a plan or a direction from the opposition since the election when Susan Lee became the leader of that party. But certainly here, the focus today on this major day of the forum is going to be around plans for the future. And on that end, I wanted to bring in my first guest this morning, Mayatili Marika, Rutingu traditional custodian. It's wonderful to have you along. Thanks so much for joining me. Firstly, tell me, what does it mean for you, the Prime Minister coming today, speaking about economic advancement as we understand?
Good morning. Thank you for being here. Look, us Yolngu people are delighted that the Prime Minister is coming today, and along with many members of his cabinet, to sit and to listen and to share in the spirit of what is GARMA. Of course, we're really interested in what he has to say, but I think it's also important for us to also reframe that and to hope that the Prime Minister and the government will listen to what we as Yolngu people and as Indigenous people around this country have to say during this GARMA festival. And
Mayatili, that's certainly what we've heard from Jawa Yunupingu this morning, the chairman of the Yindi Foundation, speaking to me here on Weekend Breakfast, saying that this was the time where the government needed to listen. There needed to be big conversations about discussions that really have started here around treaty, truth-telling, Makarrata coming together. He seemed to be indicating to me that those conversations or outcomes are a long way off, but they've got to start somewhere. What's your view on that?
Well, everything starts with an intention, and I think the magic of GARMA is that we create the space for people to come together, to listen, to learn, and to really start to understand that we're not homogenous people as Indigenous and Torres Strait Islander people in this country. In fact, we come from many languages and many nations and many mobs. And I think it's a wonderful time that we can hear from each other and listen and learn.
And speaking of which, on this very part of the country that we're in today, there are many, many different clan groups. How does it feel for you to be welcoming in people from across the nation, thousands and thousands of people, or walks of life, or backgrounds, coming here to listen, to learn, to understand your life, your culture?
Oh, it's an absolute honour. We, all our families and our community just really looks forward every year to people coming and taking times out of their busy lives and busy schedules to camp in the Stringybark Forest in tents. And it's a very, look, it's a wonderful time. It's filled with joy. It's filled with celebrating all of our different cultures, and it's about catching up with old friends but also friends that we're yet to meet.
I've been coming here back and forth since 2011. I think this might be my 12th or 13th time.
Back to be a local.
Yeah, that's right. And it's always struck me the generosity of the Yolngu people, the Gumatj mob here, to be able to share so freely and so openly stories and connections that go back thousands of years. I remember the old man who passed used to describe the Bungal ground not far from here as the university at which your people here learn, understand the culture, the connection. It's pretty extraordinary, isn't it, that gets shared with all Australians that come here, and of course with all Australians through the work that the media does and the stories that are told.
Creating the space for the stillness, to learn by observing, and to partake in a deep and meaningful knowledge exchange is inherently what we are as Yolngu people. Like, we love people coming. We love to host, and we're so proud of the 25 years of the GARMA Festival, and it's definitely a highlight in all of our calendar.
And look, just finally, Mayatili, I want to pick up on that point you made there about the stillness. What is the message to Australians about the way forward with that as a perhaps guiding principle?
We can all learn from each other. There's no right or wrong answer. It depends. And I think celebrating not only our differences, but also what we can all bring to the table, and the importance of all of our voices being heard is what we all need to do.
Mayatili Marika, Rutingu traditional owner, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for the generosity with which you share with me and with all of us. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
And of course, we'll be hearing more from other voices and perspectives from here at GARMA 2025, the 25th anniversary, right across this morning and, in fact, right across the rest of this weekend. But for now, back to you.
Good evening, Dan. Thank you very much. Dan Borsche there joining us from the GARMA Festival, as he says, now in its 20th